Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Anderson, Chief Ideas Specialist for Your Marketing Machines, a marketing strategy and communications company based here in the beautiful Brisbane, Queensland. And I'm so excited to be here with you today on behalf of MBRIT to talk about how to re-engage, repurpose, and retain your customers, saving you thousands of dollars in your marketing. So as I've mentioned, my intention today is to run through my information for you in approximately 30 odd minutes. And then ideally, I'd like to be able to open it up and answer as many possible questions as you can throw at me. So team, put your thinking caps on. This presentation and workshop is all for your benefit. So any questions you've got, please do pop them into the chat box so that I can come back around the mountain and answer those questions accordingly for you. So here goes. Sit back, relax, and enjoy where we're going. First and foremost, I'd like to just do an acknowledgement of welcome to country, and that is we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. Pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and future, for they do hold the memories, traditions, culture, and hope of Indigenous Australians. Thank you for allowing me to do so. Now, to bring it back to the most important part of this whole workshop, and that is you. And I guess the question here for me is, why the heck are you here? Why did you take time out of your busy schedule to come and join me for, 60 odd minutes? What is it? Is it because you're out there building your business? Maybe you're meeting people and you're wanting to look at ways to increase your sales conversion. Perhaps you're looking to want to create more referral partners. The third aspect could be you're wanting to develop a stronger relationship with your database. And then the fourth one possibly could be that you're wanting to establish or seek cross-promotional opportunities. If any other reason other than the four I've mentioned is the why you are here, then please do pop them into the chat box. That way it gives me a greater understanding in how we can best support you on the journey that you are currently on. However, with marketing team, something I always talk about, and that is the marketing blueprint. And this is real essential. Believe it or not, there is actually a process to marketing. I know. You're probably thinking, Andrea, I don't believe you, but there is. And this is why it's so important for you to understand that inside marketing, there are a million different vehicles that you can use to either generate leads, brand awareness, sales conversion, so on and so forth. But fundamentally, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to encourage that you break it down to four key components. Number one, lead generation, of which you'll see there are quite a number of those there. Number two element to your marketing blueprint is nurture journey. And this is the beginning of the communication process. Number three, prospect experience. That is actually allowing your prospects to self-select whether they're hot or not for you. Because why do you want to spend your time talking to tire kickers when you could be investing in people who really do want to have a genuine relationship with you? And then the fourth and final component of the marketing blueprint is sales conversion. So if you can just remember, lead generation, nurture journey, prospect experience, sales conversion. What you'll then understand is that with all of the marketing that you're doing at the moment, you will now be able to find somewhere for that marketing to actually be positioned and to sit. And look, I'm going to also be providing you with a downloadable of the marketing blueprint that you see here, because the key here is as you're going in your journey of self-discovery, in particular in marketing, I want you to have the confidence to be able to build out your own marketing game plan in the future. But today, when we're looking at re-engaging, repurposing, and retaining your customer database, we're really talking about all of the stuff in the middle of your marketing. And that's everything from nurture journey through to prospect experience, through to sales conversion. So your goal here, team, is to convert as many of your leads to customers and then to referrers as fast as you possibly can, while retaining your credibility and reputation. So that's our key here. That's our goal for you today. So breaking it down into step one, what are we actually talking about? And I guess the first thing is the importance of CRM, why all businesses need one. Now, the question I always get asked is, Andrea, what's a CRM? Absolutely. Write this down, folks. It's a customer relationship management system. You're like, what the heck is that? So we're going to talk about it. But a few statistics you need to be aware of around the power of building out a CRM system, or the other common word we use is database. And that is 51% of marketing influencers segment out their email lists and individualize their email campaign messages for personalization tactics. That's a biggie. Raise your hand if you have been one of those people who have received an email that's got nothing to do with you from a supplier. And you go, why are they talking to me like this? I'm already a customer of theirs. It's the fastest way to turn off people from you, because why? All you're doing is just canvassing them. You're not creating a personalized message for that individual to feel like they can build a positive relationship with you. Recipients are 75% more likely to click on emails from segmented campaigns than non-segmented campaigns. In other words, if you've received a personalized email because of the way that you've been segmented inside someone's database, you're more likely to open up, in fact, 3/4 more likely to open up that particular email. Why? Because it has a sense of actually being relatable to your particular needs. 78% of consumers have unsubscribed from emails because a brand was sending too many. And I've got a number of clients I work with where we manage the quantity and the quality of the emails that actually get sent out to remove the risk of this actually happening. Did you know, though, that 86% of professionals prefer to use email when communicating for business purposes? This is so important, guys, because one of the things that I hear a lot in marketing circles, and that is email marketing is dead. Boom, boom. That's not true. We all communicate at one point or another through email. It is probably the most, well, 86% of professionals use email as a form of communication. The reason why people unsubscribe is because of the abuse when it comes to email marketing, okay? So it always comes down to understanding who you're messaging, the communication that you're sending, and the quality of that communication. Because there's something you need to be really aware of, and that is, as it says there, by 2021, there will be 4.3 billion active email accounts, which is frightening. And look, I hate to say it, I've got, let me see, I've got 2 personal emails, I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 business emails, believe it or not, and 2 personal emails. So I'm already up 6, and I'm sure you guys are about the same. So the key here is understanding, when we're talking about the importance of a CRM, a customer relationship management system, and that is understanding how to communicate effectively through email marketing. Because here's what's quite startling. Every $92 that you spend on lead generation, in other words, building your brand awareness, putting yourself out there, getting known, most people only spend $1 in conversion. $1. So you spend $92 to get the lead, get them coming to you. Come to me, come to me, come to me. And then you only spend $1 converting them into a client. Doesn't make sense. So I'm going to encourage you to flip that concept on its head. Okay, because here's the key. If you have invested so much money in lead generation and you've received the contact information, you must have a CRM system to be able to manage the conversation that you're going to be embarking on, right, as part of that nurture journey experience. And don't forget, how else are you prepared to communicate to all of your connections? You can't pick up the phone and talk to them all the time. You're just going to lose track of everything. So if you've not considered a CRM system for your business, I want you, please, put that into the chat box, because if you aren't using one at the moment and you're contemplating it, or you're not too sure if you need a CRM for your system, CRM system for your business, this is a perfect opportunity for us to answer that. If you have got a CRM system and you haven't done any sort of segmentation with it, once again, put that in the chat box and let us be able to answer your question today. So, your turn. Where are all your contacts kept? Now, if you've got them sitting in an Excel spreadsheet, fantastic. If you've got them as business cards spread all over the place, okay. If you've got them inside your phone and nowhere else, dangerous. Okay, so where are all your contacts kept? Do you know who is a hot lead, a cold lead, a customer, a referrer? Oh, that's a bit of a difficult question, Andrea. These are important questions to answer. And then the third question I've got there for you is, what type of relationship do you actually want with your database? And that's real important to understand. So hold those thoughts, make those comments on your piece of paper there, or answer them inside the chat box. So let's move into the re-engagement, and this is where you start to reconnect with your database. And why would you want to re-engage your database? Well, it could be because it's been a long time since you communicated. Maybe you want to see if your contacts are current. You know, maybe there's been some shift in their circumstances, and sometimes, unfortunately, some businesses have closed. Maybe they've been made redundant. Okay, so it's real important to understand if you're dealing with a current contact list or not. Maybe it's to let your audience know that you're still open for business. Woohoo! Well done if you still are. I commend you for it. Or maybe you're wanting to re-engage with your database to clean out your database by allowing your contacts to opt out from you as they no longer require your services or expertise or products. So it's all important here that it's about re-establishing the relationship here. That is the key. Okay, so this is where you can choose, or you can decide for yourself whether you're going to be friend or foe. This is an opportunity for you not to push products, right? This is not about selling your products or your services. That's like, the rudest thing I can think of is that you've met someone, you gave them the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You didn't bother calling them, and then 3 months later, you ring them up and go, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then you wonder why they hang up on you. If you are going to be looking at your re-engagement campaign, here's just a few key points. No more than 3 newsworthy items. Whenever I'm doing a re-engagement campaign for a client, I usually only do 1 or 2 things inside the newsletter. It's either, hey, I know it's been a while since we've spoken to you, but this is what we've been up to. And normally I'd go, if it's a new website, I go, oh, and by the way, we've just updated our website. Would love for you to go check it out and to give us your feedback. So I always only keep it a couple of newsworthy things to talk about in a re-engagement campaign. I always sort of include other communication channels as well, like how else can they reach out to us, whether, any other social media platforms that we have. Maybe they might want to go check out our Google reviews. Also include relevant links. So make sure that if you are going to say, hey, go and, check us out on our Facebook page, please make sure that you've got the link inside the email that you've sent so they can click on it and it goes straight through. Okay, so make sure you use the right hyperlinks. It also, remember that it provides a chance for them to become reacquainted with you. It may have been ages since you've spoken to them. I'll give you an example. I had a client who's a printer based in Nunda, and their website had got hacked. This was quite a while ago. This was about 2 years ago. Their website got hacked, and they decided not to bother fixing it. So they basically started operating without a website, which really is not an issue, except that at the same time, their email marketing or their email communication was somewhat sporadic. And so because people didn't receive regular information from them and they couldn't be found online, the assumption was that the business was closed. suddenly it impacted on repeat business and new business coming through because nobody knew they were still around. Granted, they were going into the office every day and they were opening up the proverbial physical door, but their online door was locked and gone. So it's real important that when you are looking at doing a re-engagement campaign, and what we did for this particular organization is we rebuilt their website platform for them. And then we sent out an email going, you've probably wondered where we've gone. Well, guess what? We haven't. The doors are still open. We've been really busy, but we'd love for you to go check out our new website. What they then found was suddenly people were ringing, going, oh my God, you're still open. I thought you'd gone. You know, we didn't want to say anything. We didn't want to try the phones in case it was, you know, disconnected. Okay. And the key here with re-establishing that relationship, it gives them the opportunity, as it says there, to self-select if they're hot or not for you. So 5 tips when you're looking at a re-engagement campaign. Polls and surveys are a really good way to actually get people coming back to you and engaging with you. In fact, we've just gone through a process of, for a client, in re-engaging their database on their behalf. And we've actually thrown out as a survey, and we use SurveyMonkey to do that, just so that we could get people to give us their feedback, see if they were still alive, make sure that their details were current. Online competitions is another great way. You can use contests, giveaways to generate interest in your campaigns. Third option there is a coupon or a promo code. It's another great way to see if people are engaging with you as well. And there's a really great strategy that you can use around promo codes and coupon codes as well, which then gets people to click on it inside your newsletter, and then it takes them to a page in your website where they can fill in their contact information, and they're given a promo code that they can use on any one of your, if you want it on your products. Okay. You can just simply ask, apologize for the long silence and provide the option for them to unsubscribe. That's actually a strategy I've used on me personally, on one of my databases that I hadn't communicated to for a while. I just wrote an email, very simple, very plain input, email just saying, hi, Andrea here. Look, I know it's been a while between drinks. And it was essentially me going, I'm still here. But look, if you find that we can no longer be of benefit or value to you, please don't hesitate. Feel free to unsubscribe. I'm sure I'll catch you on some of the other platforms. So that's a really simple one. And I had actually a rather large positive response of people going, hey, yeah, I see you're still doing great stuff through Facebook. And no, look, I don't want to leave. I'm quite happy to stay here. So that's a real positive for you as well, to know that people are going to still have a desire to want to engage with you. And the 5th one of this is always looking at automating. This is the 5th tip, looking at ways to automate your email communication so that it's not reliant on you from a manual perspective. And here is an example, real life example. This is what I actually did for me, was, as it says, it's been a while between drinks email. That went out to my database. And you'll find that people will fall into 4 things. They'll either unsubscribe and go, see you later, I'm done. Look, if they unsubscribe, I'm a big fan of just remove them from the list. Don't even try and call them back. Just send them a message going, hey, I got your request. Thanks so much for being a part of my business journey. I look forward to, hopefully seeing you return in the future. Otherwise, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And I would send that as an email with the links to those people, and then delete them out of the list and hope that you can connect with them on other platforms. Second option when you do this, when you're re-engaging, is that they will bounce. Now, there's 2 kinds of bounced emails. There is a hard bounce, which means that the URL, the email address, no longer exists. If that happens, delete them, unsubscribe them, get them out. There's, it really is, unless, of course, you're prepared to go and ring them and find out where they're at. I'm a big fan of, if you've hard bounced, I'm hoping I'll catch up with you at some point somewhere else. The second kind of bounce is a soft bounce. Now, that could be because there's been a typo error. You may have put a comma instead of a full stop. You may have put in .co instead of .com. Okay, once again, depending upon the number of soft bounces that you receive, you may actually just want to go back into those individual ones, check the address and make the correction, and then resend the email to them to see what happens. Okay, the third kind of response you'll receive is an unopened. In other words, they've received it, but they just haven't bothered to check it. So a strategy you can do there is set a timer inside your email campaign and set the time to resend the email maybe in 5 days time or 10 days time, and you resend it again. Okay, the fourth option you've got there is, woohoo! They've opened your email. They've clicked on it and they've gone, yay, I'm hearing from Andrea, woohoo. If that's the case, fantastic. Guess what? You just tag them as an engage active and the date and time. All right, then that way you know that there's someone who's actually gone, yep, I've opened, I've read, fantastic. Okay, as you'll see there by the flow chart, there are two kinds of tags that we create, which is real important when we start to segment down your database. And that is tag 1, no response. In other words, they didn't respond to my email at all. Tag 2, they engaged, they responded, they're active. Fantastic. Now, you can, if you wanted to make this a little bit more challenging for yourself, or to reward for action taken, you can also include in there is a gift, a reward, hey, thanks for clicking and taking, engaging with me. And this is a strategy that I've also used quite often. So once again, you follow the exact same process as previously, except when you go to tag them as they've opened up the email, then you can send a thank you response, and attached to the thank you response is the link to whatever the gift may be. So in this example, it could be that you're going to send them access to a downloadable PDF or a downloadable ebook. Now, people say to me, Andrea, surely, why don't I just include it in the email, right? Why don't I just put the PDF in there as a thank you? Here's the reason why I always recommend take that extra step. And that is, if you've got someone who engages with you, they open up and they haven't, in other words, they haven't done their 3 other things, they've actually opened up your email, and they've, by their very actions, have shown that they're still wanting to stay on your list. You send them the gift without them realizing that they're actually getting the gift. And that's the reason why I do it. So I always tag, and then I have an automated sequence that sends them a thank you response going, hey, thanks for opening up my email. It's great to know that you're still interested in hearing from me. Here is just a little gift to say thanks for taking action. They weren't expecting it. And it's amazing when you do that, because you soon get a response going, oh, wow, hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, because it was an unexpected reward. So do consider those options. I always recommend start with the simple one first, okay, and then look at implementing this kind of strategy in the very near future. What you must consider. So include from the previous option, whether it's a competition, a promo code, it's been a while between drinks. Ensure that your email once again contains those links, at least 3 to your other platforms. So your website, your Insta, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Twitter accounts, whatever you're using, okay? Make sure that you write personal rather than formal. Even in professional letters, as a strategist, as a business strategist and a marketer, I always write in a very informal, very personal approach. Why? Because, look, I just want to share the relationship. I just want to connect with people and know that they can connect with me on a personal level as well. Keep track of your statistics, and that is how many people did I actually send out this re-engagement campaign to, how many people opened, how many people bounced, how many people unsubscribed, how many people just didn't bother to open. Those statistics are really important because it actually gives you an indication about the quality of the database you have right now. True story, we did this very recently where I transferred over a database I'd been sitting on. It was my own database. Transferred over a personal database, hadn't spoken to these people in quite a while. And we put this email campaign through. It was shocking. We had, I think it was a database of 1,200. From the 1,200, we had 350 that bounced. It was crazy. It was like, whoa, jeepers. 350 out of 1,200 bounced. So 20% of my database, 25% of my database were actually useless. So we had to go through and we had to delete everything out. Okay. Ensure your email makes sense and flows. This is really, really essential. If it doesn't, then you'll find that people just get really confused with you and they'll just unsubscribe or they'll delete you out. And always be reviewing your tracking options for more specific data. That is so essential when you're looking at mapping out your re-engagement campaigns going forward. So, questions for you to consider. What do you want to achieve from re-engaging your audience? Which option could you use as the re-engagement offer? I've used all of those with varying degrees of success and failure. I've got to be honest, it's not always been successful. Who is going to update and maintain this particular strategy for you? And how do you propose to use the data you collect? So team, when you go back to watch this or to review the information when it's emailed to you, I want you to take a few moments when you get the opportunity to answer these kind of questions. That's going to be essential for you in developing out a real strong re-engagement and communication strategy. Number 2, the repurposing, offering additional solutions. This is a real, okay, people go, okay, where do I go with this one, Andrea? So here's the thing. You've re-engaged. You've found out who's bounced. You've allowed people to leave your database. And you've more importantly identified the group of people that actually want to stay in contact with you. In other words, they're genuinely interested in receiving information. So this is where we go about the next stage of repurposing your database. So this is where we begin the segmentation process. We target, specify, and segment your database for increased profitability. We look for avenues around greater understanding of your contacts' needs, their buyer behavior, and problems. This is what you'll also hear being called consumer insights. Okay. That's something for you to remember. You'll hear data analysts talking about buyer behavior, consumer insights, or customer metrics is the other term they will use. Hopefully, you're looking to increase your average customer spend by upselling or cross-selling your services and products. And this is a great way and a cost-effective way that'll save you thousands of dollars in increasing your profitability is by cross-promotion and upselling. You'd be shocked. It's that easy. And then the fourth one for you is it's cheaper to target your current contact list than to continue to lead generate. One of the things that really shocks me when I talk to a lot of businesses and I go, how big's your database? And they go, oh, wow, Andrea, we've got a customer database of X. And I go, great, those are people who know you. But what about those people who haven't bought from you yet? How big's that database? In other words, they've filled in maybe a contact us form, or they've joined up to your newsletter, or they may have asked you for a quote at some time in the past, but never converted into a customer. Here's what I find frightful, and that is normally, on average, the leads database is a 2-to-1. In other words, for every 3-to-1. For every one customer sitting over here on a customer list, in my right hand, I've got 3 or 4 leads that are yet to be converted. And here's what happens. Most people, A, Don't bother going back to their customers. That's quite frightening. B, don't bother trying to convert this lead list that they've got. Rather, they'll go and spend more money in Facebook advertising, Google AdWords, SEO, traditional newsprint, right? Going to thousands of networking events. So team, if you're in a situation where you've got a customer database and you've got a leads database, perfect. Now you can actually do something about improving your the quality of your services, and more importantly, the quality of your conversions. So repurposing through your database segmentation is communicating targeted message. This is what we were talking about before. Okay, personalize the approach so it's a, oh my gosh, he's talking about me. Here, when you're repurposing through database segmentation, you're actually identifying their buying behavior, right, based potentially on their interests, potentially on the kinds of communication that they've engaged with you before. This gives you a greater consumer insight that actually leads to them going, you know what, that Sarah, she's really good. She's actually someone, I've been watching her, I've been reading her content. She's very knowledgeable. She's got 25 years and it's showing in her e-communication to me. She's talking to me, not at me, to me. She's somebody I'm going to buy from. Okay, so when you're looking at a database segmentation strategy for repurposing, there's three key things here. Outline how you want the database to be segmented. And there's a number of different ways that you can do that. And this is probably best done on a piece of butcher paper or a whiteboard where you're mapping this stuff out first. Second thing, you want to create tags to establish more specific targeting inside your database. Tags, groups, segments become essential inside your CRM system because they help you to be able to niche down into your database and communicate a specific topic, message, whatever to a specific group inside your database. And then the third thing you want to be doing is gathering customer data, their demographic data, their geographic data. Where do they live? Their demographic data, you know, maybe find out when their birthday is, or if they're married, or what their children's name are. You know, it's so important to find that kind of information out. Psychographic data is what's their hot buttons, what are they, you know, what's got them interested, and you'll find this out over time. The more you communicate, it's like going on a date. You know, you meet a few people and you start speed dating and you want to go back for a second and a third date with that person. You want to find out more. It's exactly the same inside repurposing your database. Now, team, this is just an example. Don't get kerfuffled or baffled or confused. This is just an example of the way you can segment down your database. And to be honest with you, I actually do this with all my clients before I even analyze their database and start emailing. I go, tell me about how you've segmented your database. Most cases they go, we haven't. And I go, right, well, we need to create some segments for you. So here is an example of what we do with your marketing machines. Is I've broken my database down into, as you can see, there are 5 main groups: subscriber, lead, opportunity, customer, referrer. And then within those groups, I have tags. So subscriber for me, for example, is, you know, they've come through my website. They've either subscribed to receive one of my daily tips, hints, and tricks, which I'd highly recommend you do. You know, feel free to go to yourmarketingmachines.com.au and sign up for the 365. We send a tip every day, and the tips take no longer than 77 seconds. 77 seconds. Reason being is I know you're busy. And that's enough time, you know, 77 seconds is enough time for you to, I don't know, make a cup of coffee and you can be reading the tip of the day. And every day we send you a tip, 77 seconds long. It's that simple. So go and have a nosy at that. If they've come in from your social media platforms, when they come into me, they're tagged. When they become a lead, right, that's, where were they sourced? Where did I get them from? Were they referred to me? If so, who by? And then once I begin the communication process, they're tagged, communicated. As you can see there, by an opportunity. My lead has now come to me and they've said, Andrea, can we talk about the feasibility of getting a website developed or getting our social media reviewed or audited? Great. So there's a series of tags in there, which then allows me to know where that person is up to. When they become a customer, woohoo, doot, doot. Yes, they're a customer, woohoo. Are they a first-time customer? What did they actually purchase from me? Was it strategy development? Was it website rebuild? Was it Facebook, or was it social media promotional strategy? Was it any of the other services that we provide? Are they a multiple buyer from me? Fantastic. And then referrer. I've got people in my database who have never bought from me, but then some of my top referrers, because they like the way that I do business, or they like the way that I communicate to the people that they've referred to me. Okay, so I have mapped this out, and I'm going to encourage you to do exactly the same for you. So here's an example of repurposing for a customer. And this is, once again, actually a true story. This is inside our database. So I've got a client who did a website, a brand new build with us, and there was a number of other things involved in that 5K. We then completed all of that. We did all their branding and everything else at the same time. What happened was that they then said, Andrea, we now get you to look at our Facebook advertising? And, so we are looking at that, but we also had to build out their Facebook, their social media strategy as well. So we manage and maintain their social media strategy. At the same time, they've been tagged as a referrer, because we then got a lead come through from this client. And so I thought, right, great, you're a referrer. Perfect. So they've got a tag called referrer. And the really cool thing about it for me is that they've become one of our top referrers. So I reward them. I went and got actually, I don't think I've got one here, but I've got these gift baskets that I got made up by another one of my clients. And every time that I get somebody who's a multiple referrer, I get a gift basket made up, costs about $40 plus shipping. And I get that sent to my referrers. Every time they get, 3 or 4 referred client leads come through, I send them a basket, or I send them a dinner voucher, or whatever I've got lying around, for want of a better word, and that's what they get from me. But as you can see by this example, they've now gone Facebook advertising, social media strategy, which we manage, and they're now gone, Andrea, can you have a look at our email comms? Sure. What's interesting is that one of the clients that they referred to us has just gone and bought those particular things. Okay, so that's how you repurpose for a customer. They bought the website, so there was no point in talking to them about rebuilding websites or what you should know, the 5 essential elements for building a website, because we just did it. So what we did is sent them email comms about social media, and that's how they became a client. Okay, so your turn. How do you identify how you want your database to be segmented? Like I said, do it on a piece of butcher paper or whiteboard. Which contacts belong in which segment? And that's really important. Always start with your customers first, because that's always the most important one. They're the people who've paid for you. Where does my leads currently come in from? Make a list of what they are. And what are the cross-purpose opportunities in your business? Okay. Third aspect of today's workshop, and that is retain, strengthening your communication. This is so essential. This is how you get multiple purchases for your products and your services. This is how you create retention, right? You've probably heard about retention in the employer sector. Now it's so important that you look at retention of your customers to your business, because I can guarantee you, if you're not communicating to your customers, your competitors are. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. If you're not communicating to your customers, your competitors are. So it's real important that you do communicate effectively with your customers, okay? Make sure too also that you can gain some recommendations and testimonials from them to build your reputation. And you want to be transitioning your customers into becoming referrers, like that example I just showed you. Because here's the key, the lifetime value of a new referral customer is 16% higher than your average customer. And you go, oh, Andrew, that doesn't sound like much. That is truckloads, because that'll save you absolute thousands in doing SEO, Google AdWords, Facebook advertising, LinkedIn advertising, traditional advertising, whether it's newsprint, radio, television. Yes, they are equally effective. Don't get me wrong, they are effective. But if you're on a tight budget, which I'm going to suggest you are, then looking after your customers, turning them into referrers, turning them into repeat buyers, I can guarantee you, is going to save you thousands of dollars in the end run. So here are some examples of retention strategies for your clients, okay? So this is your customers, and that is follow-up post, product, service delivery. How did they go? What I find really fascinating is the number of people where I've purchased stuff and I hear nothing. 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 So what we've done with our products is we've created what's equally important to us is post-sales communication. And it's something that we also do for clients who have online businesses. Reason being is that we know, for example, in the skincare industry, we know that products last about 90 days. So there needs to be what we call as a 90-day comms strategy. Doesn't mean you're sending in communication every day, but during that 90-day period, you've actually got predetermined emails that are going out to that particular customer about your product, what your product does, the benefits, the features, and then reminding them that their product is probably about to run low and now's a good time to look at reordering. Okay, so how did they go? Promote your customer, how you solved your customer's issues. This is a great comms strategy. You can talk about Johnny with his, with his bad guitar, and that you saved the day there, Sarah, because they came in, they purchased the right guitar for him. Okay, so you talk about your customer success stories and you share those. Set up reminders to check in with your clients on a regular basis and start gathering additional information about them. What's their hobbies, their places to travel, their personal interests. And look, if you're ever going to be holding events, the people you should be inviting as your customers first. Okay, I just went to a launch for a client of mine, Organic Simplicity. They're a skincare beauty business based down in Jimboomba. And one of the things we said after we rebranded and did their brand new website and everything is we said, look, you now need to hold a launch event because we've just rebranded you and we've got a brand new website out there, and I want you to invite your customers first. Okay, they're the people you're wanting to thank because they're the people who have invested in your brand. Okay, huge success, by the way. Out of that, they got new leads and new clients actually come along to the event as well. Examples of retention strategies for your contacts. These are the people that you're yet to convert. Regular communication, but keep it real, keep it relevant, okay, and keep it simple. Once again, customer stories, how you solved a customer issue. A product story, how your product worked for a customer. Surveys, opinion pieces, feedbacks are a great way to engage a lead list. Find out more about how they want to engage with you as well. And you can also invite them to any special events you may have. So here's your turn. What retention strategies could you put in place today for your current and ex-customers? What retention strategies could you put in place today to communicate effectively to your lead list? And what automation options are available for you within the current CRM system that you are using? Fourth piece I want to cover off, and then we're going to open up the floor to you guys, and I'm going to get prepared for the onslaught of questions. Automation, integration, streamlining your communication. Team, this is by far, it's so essential for you in business. So your software integrations could be things like booking systems. If you're using a booking system, rephrase, if you take bookings and you're not using a booking system, we need to have a conversation. Different examples of CRM systems, and look, there are hundreds of them out there. And if you're looking for ones that are specific or relevant to you, feel free to drop me an email or to book in a 15-minute no obligation conversation with me. You may want to look at the feasibility of payment platforms inside your website or inside your CRM system or inside your comms. Social media, make sure that you are connected. And if you do need to use a third-party integration, then Zapier is perfect for that. So, your turn. What is your ultimate desired goal, personal, professional? When do you actually want to achieve this within a time frame? And what's the plan that you're creating that's going to get you there? And the fourth one in that is, what do you need to have in regards to your resources? This is so important for you. So team, I'm just going to unmute you, and yes, your questions, please. What questions do we have there, team? Any questions at all? Sarah, have you got any thoughts or thoughts, feedback?
Yeah, no, I'm mainly thinking about the I can't remember what you called it, the retaining the customers that have already bought stuff.
Yes.
Because I have been sending out an email about 2 weeks after they get their product, just asking them how it was.
Perfect.
And asking them if they'd actually leave me a review if they were happy. So I mean that's been working well.
Cool. Perfect.
And the other question, I guess, was when you say don't do too many emails, I guess it depends. I've got customers on my email database split up into school teachers.
Yes.
And then what I call normal customers.
Great. Fantastic.
So basically they're people that aren't school teachers.
Yep.
And because I know how many emails I get, I don't like getting hundreds and hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing once a month to everybody, and then an extra one each month just for the teachers, which was more school focused.
Right.
Surely that's not too much. Seems to take forever to write, but.
And look, here's probably where I'm going to recommend you go with this, and that is I would have a newsletter specifically for the schools.
Yeah.
Because they're a unique audience, all of their own accord. They have unique buyer behavior. Okay. And I'm sure that there will be information that you're obtaining that's going to be relevant specifically for them. Yes. So you may find, and the beauty about teachers and schools is that they normally run on a predetermined schedule or time frame. So you may actually find that, look, you could probably send one every 2 months, for example, or you might send one, a week before school term starts. And then you might send one during school term, and then you might send a third one a week after, a week before school term finishes, for example. Yeah. And so your content is specific to helping them overcome whatever problem they may have. All right.
Yeah, but so probably don't need to be exact the middle of the month to all the schools. I could change it up a bit.
Absolutely. You could, and this is where I'd be looking at with your school customers, because don't forget, they've got a unique need for you. They've got a unique problem, and you have a unique solution for them, right? Yep. So they don't need to hear about the general stuff. They're only really going to be interested in the stuff that's going to support them inside their unique environment.
Okay, so you wouldn't include them in the one for everyone?
No, I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
No, to be honest. Well, the thing is that we get, from my perspective, I go, look, 2 a month, that's nothing to them. That's 2 a month times everyone else they receive information from.
Yeah.
So to stand out, you unless of course there's information that's inside the general newsletter that's going to be relevant to the school audience, then I would then create a special newsletter. Like, let's say, for example, that they're used to buying a certain kind of a certain brand of percussion from you, and that brand is no longer going to be in operation. It's a bit like saying goodbye to Holden when they left the country, right? So you know that that's important to them because, oh my gosh, they buy that particular brand. So I would be doing not an emergency, but I'd be doing like a special bulletin specifically to that audience going, I just need to let you know.
If you want one now.
We've just been notified by the manufacturer that they are not reproducing this brand anymore. So, that's when you can then put in those special moments, right?
Okay.
Because it's targeting specifically to them. Now, for your non-school related customers, what I would be doing is I would be talking to them in a very unique way as well. I would be breaking down your non-school customers into different kinds of what kind of customers are they? What are they actually purchasing from me? Because the way you speak to somebody who's interested in guitars is very different to somebody who's interested in pianos, for example, right? So if I just go back here and I'll show you how we've mapped ours out. Where are you? So keep going. So if you have a look at this one here, for example, okay, customers, you might want to break them down by products, right? Or if they're a multiple buyer and they've bought from you percussion and a cello and a guitar, and you go, okay, this one client's bought all these different things. Are they making a band? Like, are they a family? What's going on here? The cool thing about it is that you're going to talk to that person differently, right? Here's the cool thing. If they've bought a piano from you and then suddenly you've got a sale on pianos, guess what? They don't want to know. And you don't want them to know. Okay? So that's where you start to get a little bit more sort of specific in the way that you communicate. It's like having 100 people come to a party that you've thrown, and you're going to have a slightly different conversation with each of them.
Yeah, so I think I'll probably need to break down my general customer one into different groups.
Definitely, that's where it's one of the recommendations I make. And look, sometimes you can niche too low. So I go, first and foremost, keep it general. So when I think about my client base, for example, because we have a number of different services that we provide, I always tag them by what they've purchased, what they've bought from me, right? So if someone's bought strategy development from me, then I'm not going to talk to them about strategy development because they've already bought it. I'm probably now going to go, well, if they've bought strategy development, maybe they need support in, their branding. Maybe they need support in their website build. So I'm going to start communicating to them about website builds or digital marketing or kickstart your digital presence or those kind of things. I'm not going to talk to them about strategy. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's really helpful.
Cool.
I'm happy with a lot of the database that I've got. That I'd split it into the two, but knowing what to do when. So that was really good.
And you'll find that one of the things I'm definitely going to encourage you to do, and that is I want you to schedule out the content you're going to present. So I always recommend my clients to go for a topic of the month. Give me a topic of the month. And so each month we've got a topic. So it means then that the the email communications and the social media comms and any events that they're running in that particular month all align in with each other.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay, so that when people are coming across your platforms, including email comms, they're receiving a consistent message about you. Okay, so I always go, what's the topic of the month? And then I go, right, who am I communicating to in this particular month? And then it comes down to, what am I saying to these people? It's like having putting together a series of events, and you've got dinner parties for specific audiences. What am I going to serve them? What am I going to communicate to them about? Okay.
Yeah, it just feels like by doing one every 2 weeks, it feels like I'm spending half my days writing emails.
Correct. And you may even just want to check what your conversion rate is. What's the open rate on those emails?
The school ones are definitely higher.
Yep.
They're about 20%.
Okay.
And the customer ones, I think it's about 11.
Yep, that's way too low. Definitely, you should be. I'm going to give you a goal. The goal
30?
I'm going to give you is 35%.
35, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
Mail, what is it? Mail Poet tells me I've got to get to 30.
Yeah. And with your general newsletter is great for your subscribers or your leads, right?
Yep.
Or your opportunities. These are people who haven't become customers. Your customers are the people you love on. So everyone else gets a general newsletter. And over time, you start to incorporate some of those things that I was talking about. So you might send, for example, to your leads, your lead list, you might have a run on a sale of, I don't know, drum kits, for example. So guess what you do? You go to and you're thinking, okay, I need to get rid of these drum kits. I can either do two things. I can either go through my database of my customer database and remove, not communicate drum kit sale to my people who've bought drum kits. Okay, so that's one option. But then you might go to your lead list, let them know that you've got a sale on drum kits, and you give them a promo code.
Yep.
Okay, so now they go, ooh, rather than going 25% off, you go, we're about to run out of drum kits.
Yep.
Take advantage. Here's your promo code to receive your special rate.
Yep.
Okay.
That sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Adrian, how are you going?
I feel like I'm a long way behind.
Yeah. Talk to me.
I don't have a CRM.
Okay, cool.
I don't have a booking setup.
Okay. But you
do a lot of bookings.
You do a lot of bookings, yeah.
The only way that I do it at the moment is through Google Calendar. I run all of my bookings basically through there, just because I can set up recurrings and that sort of thing. I just put all of the information in there and
perfect.
Know what's happening every day, basically.
Yep.
But it does get a little bit hard to keep track of, and things tend to disappear from time to time.
Look, firstly, what I'm going to suggest is go and research booking links.
Yep.
Or booking software. So one of the ones that I use, which is great, I have to admit, is Calendly. So Calendly, calendly.com.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get 2 free booking links that you can set up.
Yep.
And then after that, you pay the horrendous amount of $22 a month, Australian. Yeah. The beauty about Calendly is you can also put in there any questions that you'd like them to answer. You can collect their information as well. You can send that link as an SMS. I use it on my website as a contact us or book now type scenario, and very, very easy to use. it then actually, I've got it set up to my Office 365. So I actually get a connection. I actually get the information come through as an email, and you can also book, you can also synchronize your calendar in with Calendly. And what it will do is that when the person goes to book through your Calendly link, it will show the availability.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it only shows them the availability. Okay, so you could easily, you know, manage that. You can also set it up that if you want 30 minutes in between each appointment, so somebody books you from 9 till 10, the next available appointment time is 10:30.
Yep.
So you can actually set that up automatically inside Calendly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll have to look into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Probably the other thing that I'm sort of really basic with marketing.
Aren't we all?
For the most part, most of my exposure is through social media, mostly just Facebook at the moment. I've only just started an Instagram page, which I really need to get cracking on and do some things.
Sure.
I guess so. For the people that are already following that page, how frequent should there be material, and what sort of material should I be posting?
Yep.
I don't like to just post sales all the time, if you know
Sure.
what I mean.
Absolutely.
I like the human element, but it's hard to know where the boundaries are as well.
Absolutely. So how long have you sort of, I know your business is relatively new, but I gather you're a technician that's come from the industry, yeah?
I've been in the commercial industry for 13 years and the domestic industry about the last 3 or 4 as well.
Right. Okay. So you're not the new kid on the block, in other words.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what's really cool, and that is you're probably targeting two main types of clients. I can only but assume you're probably targeting the Joe Blogs who owns a pool in their backyard.
Yeah.
Is one option. The other kind of people you could be targeting is your property developers or your property managers who have got pools.
Yep.
The third one you're probably going after are things like maybe, thinking. Your third ones might be things like your resorts who have got a swimming pool or something along those lines as well, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That third one sort of covers into big stuff as well. So aquatic centres, resort,
Yep. Perfect.
All of that sort of stuff.
No, wasn't too sure whether to say aquatic centres. I was like, maybe, because normally they have their own, but okay, cool. That's why I went the resorts way, but awesome. So yeah, so you've got big commercial, you've got property managers who are looking after like, what are they called? The body corps. And then you've got your individuals. Perfect. Here's what's going to be really cool with your level of experience of around about 15 to 18 years. And that is you've seen it all. You name it, you've seen it. You've probably pulled it out of the filter. So when you're talking about what kind of content should I be displaying on my Facebook page or my Instagram, for example, you want to keep it real. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you first and foremost to do this. On Facebook, I want you to go and hunt down your competitors. Okay, here's the beauty about having competitors. You can always go cyberstalk them and see what they're doing. So I'm going to encourage you just to go and hunt out your competitors on Facebook and get a sense of what they're doing. What are they saying? What are they sharing? What are they posting? And what's the reaction? What's the level of engagement that they're having? And, you know, I can visualize really funny things like, and I know that this stuff is being shared on Facebook, and that is, I can visualize you know, posting a pic, and it's somebody pulling a bra out of the filter, and you know, and then some sort of smart comment underneath it, and you know, what you'll do is you'll take that post, you'll post it onto your page and go, please tell me if this has ever happened to you and what was the outcome, or if you know anyone this has happened to, can you name them.
Yeah.
Tag them in the post. So there's fun stuff that you can do like that, or you could even do something like, what's the worst thing you've ever had pulled from your pool, right? And just open it up for conversation inside your Facebook page and just see what you get coming through. Those are, because look, we've all had funny things happen inside a pool, like you name it. It's there's some pretty extreme stuff that's happened. Like you might have someone who go, well, look, the most funniest thing I've ever had pulled from my pool was an alligator.
Yeah.
Or a crocodile, right? And you might come back to that and go, I hope you called the pest control guys for that before you called me. So you want to be keeping it real, okay? Because people want to know that whatever embarrassment they may suffer, they know that, oh well, hey, Adrian's already dealt with it before, so he's the man. He's the man to call, okay? So that's number one thing I want you to sort of consider. Same thing for you. I want you to create a monthly schedule. Use a topic of the month, okay, and go, what do we want to talk about for this topic of the month? So, for example, we're in winter. So maybe you want to be talking about pool maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, through these months while it's a little bit quiet, it's a little bit cooler. So what do you need to maintain to make sure that your pool is ready for when the summer months hit, which is literally just around the corner? You may want to educate people about pH balances and pH levels in the pool, what they need to be aware of. Or the other thing you may also talk about is things like, if you're suffering from, you go swimming and suddenly you find that your hair that you've dyed has turned purple, here's a solution for that.
Yeah.
Here's why this could have happened. If you're swimming and you find that your eyes are really starting to hurt, more than likely, here's the problem. Here's the solution to that.
Mm.
Does that make sense? So now you're sort of becoming the pool guy.
Yeah.
Right? You're the number one pool guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're now showing that I've got knowledge, I've got experience, you name it, I've seen it, probably worse than what you're describing. So I'm the pool guy, because you're now educating them based on your experience and your knowledge.
Yeah.
And you're also now showing them a human side of you as well. Okay, so that planning that out is going to be really important for you. And you may want to start with, maybe only a couple of posts a week until you start building up a little bit of confidence with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other things that I would recommend that you probably look at, and that is, what business groups on Facebook can you go and join?
Yeah.
Right? There are some that are really good. There are some I would avoid like the plague. So you want to go looking at business groups that have a high engagement level. Okay. And you want to be joining into groups where people are looking for recommendations.
Okay. Yeah.
Sarah, that's the same for you as well. All right.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that.
Yeah. So, for example, there's a group I'm going to encourage both of you to go and have a nosy at, and that's the Brisbane Small Business Group on Facebook. Kevin Gammy is a very good friend of mine. He runs the program, he runs the group, and he has a business directory. Now, his business directory, I think, is like $250 to join. And one of the things that Kevin is always doing is encouraging people to go to the business directory first. Go and find what you need in the business directory. And I think by memory, there aren't many pool guys in there, and there aren't many musical stores in there as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one that I would suggest you go and have a look at. But look, even have a look at, business groups in your area. Look at, I would probably take a 20-kilometre radius from your main location and look at, you know, who's in, you know, are there any business groups from Caboolture, MBRIT, you know, is there something more that I can be doing in there? Is there, you know, so I'd be looking at stuff like that. I'd be looking at RDA Moreton Bay. Do they have a group? I'm pretty sure they do have a Facebook page as well. So there's...
What was that last one, sorry?
Moreton Bay RDA, Regional Development Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they've got a Facebook page on there. Okay. So, Adrian, in regards to a CRM system, if you don't mind me asking, what's the size of your database at the moment?
As in active customers right now, probably only at about 120 people.
Oh, you know, well, it's 119 more than you probably had when you started. Cool, fantastic. So I'm going to encourage you to go have a look at Mailchimp.
Yep.
Okay, Mailchimp is free. Woohoo! We like free. Okay, Mailchimp is free, up to 2,000 contacts. There is great functionality inside Mailchimp as well, which you can become confident with over time. Okay,
yep.
Cool.
So a lot of my contacts that I should be keeping in contact with but haven't are people that obviously I have provided quotes to and haven't had success, or people that I have been to in the past for whatever breakdown it happens to be, and I've noted down that they've needed other things replaced in the future or other things repaired in the future. So they're sort of things that I had sort of been taking note of, but it all just got too hard to keep track of. So that's the sort of thing that I'd need help with.
Definitely. I mean, look, we use a CRM system. We use a paid one called Keep, K-E-A-P. And what we've done with our CRM system is we've now also turned it into a project management platform as well. Okay, so what we've done is rather than go and get a separate project management tool, what we've done is actually incorporated it all inside our CRM system. So we map everything now. Now, look, did that happen overnight? Heck no. You know, it took us, you know, months of working it out, making sure that we, you know, were collecting the information we wanted to collect, that we were developing out the automated processes. You know, look, and we still haven't got it right. But we understand and appreciate just the importance of managing our contact data, contact database, because that's where our money is. Our money is inside our database. So it's real important that we've mapped it out properly so that my team, when they're all going into the database, they're all going in there knowing that they can achieve what they need to achieve as part of their outcomes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to encourage you to have a look at Mailchimp. Just as I said, it's free. Bonus. It's free. And, you know, look at, you know, the feasibility or the functionality of Mailchimp for your business.
All right. Cool.
And I think the sooner you do that, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so getting back on track here, team, because I've gone slightly over and I do apologize. My bad. So I guess coming back to where are you, you know, why are you here? I'm hoping that through the conversation we've had today that we've looked at ways to potentially increase your sales conversion, look at how you can create more referral partners, strengthen that relationship with your database, and look at avenues for cross-promotional opportunities. Remember that inside the marketing blueprint, we looked at 75%. 75% of your marketing plan is actually around communications. 25% is around getting the lead, right? Then the next challenge you've got is how the flip do I blimmin' well, you know, convert them. And that's the power of communications, and that's the power of re-engaging, repurposing and retaining your customer database. Okay, team, I'm going to encourage you look to book a 30-minute, there you go, book a 30-minute conversation with me. There you go. I thought it was 15. What do you know? But here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Look, there's a lot of information that I've shared here, and I'm going to just recommend, look, book the appointment. It's a no obligation convo where we can talk a little bit specifically about your particular business needs and requirements, and then identify the best kind of strategies going forward for you. Just on that note, look, every Monday between 12 p.m. to 1 p.m, we run something called BizMojo Business Bites. This is where we interview businesses, anything up to 3 businesses, and we find out about themselves, what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it, and if they're still doing it under these circumstances. So look, please, if you're interested in either wanting to be a panelist on that, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, big nudge. If you're looking at the possibility of being a panelist on that, hey, look, no problems. Once again, send me an email. Happy to have you in there. So, yep, Andrea Anderson, Chief Idea Specialist. That's me. It is my company. You can easily reach out to us at www.yourmarketingmachines.com.au or else email me. And look, we do run a number of solutions and strategies for startup businesses through to medium-sized entities. And so, hey, you never know, we may have a solution that can support you in these initial stages of your business. But otherwise, it's been fantastic to have you with me today. I hope that you were able to gain some, I guess, some benefit from today's webinar. And I believe there could be some more coming up in the future, so I recommend for you to look out for those as well. So
well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to the opportunity in seeing you again in the future.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.